anything like that? We're an opposite unit, like a defensive player went to the head coach and said, I don't like the play you just called on offense.
No. Me personally, I've never seen it, CC.
Man, I played with a guy named Randy Moss. Okay, so I've seen a little bit, and myself.
Right.
You know, I've expressed my opinion. I think that Denny Green, he really helped me understand the hierarchy of what was going on. And then when I got in a place where I shouldn't be, he would always check me. And not growing up with a father, it was great for me to have someone like Denny Green. Because he set boundaries and limitations, but he also pushed me to be a better leader. Richard Sherman, I have a problem with it because this is an organizational problem. And it started with Marsawn Lynch. Because Marsawn, when he's in Buffalo, he used to do interviews. When he first got to Seattle, he used to do interviews. But what they allowed them to do to the PR director, communications director for that team over that period of time, and it really blew up at the Super Bowl. But that's the normal behavior that they had in Seattle and Marsawn Lynch, you know, and how they treated the media. Now, myself, I felt like I had a good relationship with the media.
Right.
But let me tell you when I found out I didn't have a good relationship. That was when I was on the Hall of Fame ballot. Because all of a sudden I started hearing this snickering, oh, he might not have a good. Now, I was number 2 in receptions, number 2 in touchdowns, and I waited 5 years to get this ring right here. Now, why is this ring relevant? Because Richard Sherman, that media, you're going to need them one day. I know you're a superstar right now. I know you're making a lot of money. But one day, all your notes for your career going to be laid out on the table, and these 44 men and women...
They're up to that. It's 2 more votes now.
Okay, 40. Okay, so they're gonna judge your accomplishments. So this is bigger than an interview. The interview is just basic professionalism. You're here, Joy, to do a job. I'm here to help you do your job. If I don't want to help you do your job, the thing is say no comment. All right? Now, that's what he needs to be able to do. Now, Richard is on a slippery slope, playing, coaching, and then now with the media. Be careful, because some of them endorsements and everything, they can go away. And if Seattle doesn't win, say if Earl stops playing, the relevance of Seattle becomes less than it has been the last 5 years. Yep.
Okay, back to one point you made from a media perspective. Obviously, I did this and still do this job for a long time. So do we want the Hall of Fame committee to be a popularity contest? Because you're saying you had a good relationship with the media, but don't you want them then to be objective about whether you belong or don't belong in the Hall of Fame? It's not just on how good.
Of course you want them to be objective. Of course. Yeah, that's all. Yes.
Okay. And just because you built up a lot of goodwill, because you did a lot of interviews and you helped a lot of reporters.
But Skip.
Right?
No, I did my job.
Okay.
No, I did my job. I didn't create goodwill. I did my job. I didn't feel like I had a great relationship. I had a very functional working relationship with them. Yes.
Okay.
Skip.
I think you had a great relationship.
I did, but because here's the thing, Skip. I was a 7th round draft pick, so anytime somebody wanted to talk to me, because I thought it was great that somebody here is a 7th round pick that didn't started out on special teams, and someone was actually wanting to talk to me.
It was also part of your nature. You're more out.
Yes.
Not that you're not
my brother.
Yeah, he'll talk to this cup. Yes.
That is correct.
But you know what, Skip? Let me tell you what Cris is saying. Those 44 to 48 men and women, they're human beings.
They are.
You cross somebody, and they ask.
That's true. I agree.
You ask them to put that personal feeling aside, but they are human beings.
There's also an allegiance.
Yeah.
There's also an allegiance.
Because you know they're gonna say, okay, who's on the ballot this year? Okay, oh, you. Yeah, you remember that time he said, you know what? Or he hit me on the head with the basketball.
Why didn't T.O. get in last year?
That's it.
What other reason?
None.
What other reason?
Well, but those are valid reasons.
No, you can't make it personal. You just said
Not personal. No, it's not personal with T.O. I mean, would you tear apart 3 different football teams that all predicted to be playoff Super Bowl teams? I mean, playoff teams?
Yeah, that was the extra. Richard hadn't been involved in that. He is a great team player, but yes, that was put on, with all his stats, that was put on the table too.
Hey, okay, let me ask you one more thing, Skip, and I'm going to let you take it over. All the teams that T.O. left, how were they after he left? How was San Francisco after he left? How was Dallas after he left? How was Philly after he left?
He left them in ruins. That's what happened.
One man.
He was a dynamo. He was a force in a locker room unlike any I have ever covered. He
That's
could
true.
split a team apart, offense versus defense, unlike any human I've ever seen in a locker room.
I thought we were talking about T.O. I didn't know he was talking about Napoleon. I didn't know he was talking about Genghis Khan. I mean, you talk about he left a team. Think about what he said, CC. He's saying one man was so divisive that when he left, the team couldn't recover.
No, I think that all those teams had a certain situation. They had a need for a wide receiver, but emotionally, how he left that coach, that quarterback, and that team, that's his point.
But here's the thing. You and I both know this. If you get a player that's supremely talented, if you let his emotions, if you let his actions and behavior go unchecked, the bigger he gets, the harder it is to rein him in. See, when Jerry was in San Francisco, Jerry should have did a better job of reining him in. But Jerry didn't do that. And he's like, and so now he got so big, think about what they did. They jettisoned the greatest receiver in football for Terrell Owens. Once you do that, he's the Incredible Hulk.
I mean, but they didn't jettison because he was divisive. You're talking about Jerry Rice?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, they just thought he was too old. I mean, they thought he...
Yes, he had a couple injuries, yes, but they did let him go.
But did you see what he did in Oakland?
Yeah.
Yes.
But he was in the perfect passing with Rich Gannon, Dinkin and Duncan to him and...
That's what Jeff
I know
Garcia
what you're
was.
saying. With Jerry and the way he conducted himself on the field, he should be able to write his own ticket when he was going to leave San Francisco. Especially after they did what they did to Joe Montana.
Well, they encouraged him to retire. Bill Walsh thought it was time for Jerry just to wave goodbye and have a great day at Candlestick and it be over. And he said, no, I want to go until I'm 40.
And what did they do to him? On Jerry Rice Day, what did T.O. do, CC? 20 catches
You know why?
for 265.
Because the stupid Chicago Bears that I was covering at that point said, we are not going to let Jerry Rice embarrass us on Jerry Rice Day. We're going to triple cover him because we don't care about that kid from where is he from? Like Chattanooga.
They should have been covering him in the NFC Championship game in the frigid weather when Jerry chewed them up.
Yeah. So now, okay, on Jerry Rice Day, I get 20 catches. They moved on from Jerry because they realized what we have in me. Skip, there's nothing you can do now because he got the jettison and he had 20 catches on his day.
Okay.
Right. I'm not saying they're the same.
No.
T.O. is a great example.
Yes.
But just Richard Sherman, just be careful because you're on a slippery slope and there is going to be a need for the media. People have talked about you want to work in the media. That's going to be an interesting transition.
It would be.
You know, that's going to be an
Allow
interesting.
me to conclude this by saying I was surprised and impressed that Richard backed off and apologized because that was new from Richard. I'd not seen that kind of reaction or behavior from Richard. So that was redeeming value here. But in the big picture, I still say it's part and parcel of this team starting to unravel. And I know it's your team, but again, are they going to face Dallas at some point down the line?
Production and tolerance, Skip. That production is still high. The tolerance will be high.
Yep.
But when that play slips a little bit, what normally happens, CC, when the play slips and you still cause these kind of distractions, they got to let you go?
Well, I imagine that someone told Richard Sherman what he did was extremely out of line. It's one thing.
The Richard of the previous 3 years would have said, yeah, you know what you can do with that. I'm not going to back off and apologize.
He's a smart guy.
He's a smart guy.
That's
Yeah,
right,
what he
yes.
did was threaten someone's job, and he doesn't have the authority to do that. It's incredibly dismissive and
But for him to
disrespectful.
think he has the authorty, that's what's amazing.
Well, you have to imagine he was speaking from an emotional place, so.